Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. How are we all? It is happy Valentine's Day to most people. It's actually the 15th, the day after. I don't know what day it is. Wednesday, I think. So hello everyone. Who have we got here? Canusa Media. Hello. Welcome. Sherry Ives. And what's the matter with you, Sherry Ives? Have you got a headache? Hope you're feeling better. Alistair, hello. How you going? Welcome here again. Probably saw most of you last night, only 6 or 7 hours ago. Pamela, hello. Corey, Sema Dragon, Hugh, Fourth Wisdom, hello. Camp Creek Hill, Michael De Silvo, Stephen Rossi, hello and welcome. All right, we've got a good show for you today. What have we got today? We have, I've got this written down somewhere. We're going to look at some Cymatic ceilings from cathedrals. I've got some pictures of France from the late 1800s, and again, no people there, empty streets. And we're also going to have a bit of a look at what's going on in the news, balloons, UFOs, pop stars wearing inflatable outfits, all that kind of stuff, and fossils that may be reset fossils. And something I actually saw on Jay Dreamer's channel about a week ago. He showed these fossils. So we're going to go through and I'll show you what people are finding, which is very, very interesting. All right. And hello. Thank you for being here. Quinty, how do I say that? Quinty Guifrey. Is that right? Wakey, hello. Sage, hello. Ancient One, Tracy, His Highness, Kevin, Royal Triangle. All right. Thank you all for being here. So I think we shall just jump straight into it. And coming up, we have, what are we going to start with? Well, why don't we start with some pictures? Why don't we do that? Okay, so ceilings, we have these cathedrals, right? And we all know about sound and the work of Dr. Emoto and freezing ice crystals and cymatics. And basically what it means is when you play frequency or music through different mediums, you get geometric shapes. And we see these shapes all over the place. And they are in cathedrals. And they are on cathedral ceilings. Like this one now. Where's this? This is the Baptistry of St. John in Florence in Italy. And we've got, what's that? 4, an octagon. Of course, we've got Jesus. He's not in a vesica Pisces. He's in a circle this time. And concentric, we've got this sort of fractal. See how things are sort of being pushed towards the center there? And this is, a fairly basic one, obviously. But, I mean, until you have to build it, right? I mean, look at the work that's gone into that. Just ridiculous. This is from the Basilica, what's it called? The Della Sagrada Familia, the one that is in Barcelona. They've been building it for like 200 years or something. I think Gordy who started it? And look at this. I mean, this is just like, what? Look at this stuff. Just cymatic patterns everywhere built into bigger cymatic patterns. And this is what we say, right? These cathedrals, all about sound, with their organs and things and their choirs. Familiar symbol there. It looks just like a star fort. I've literally got a picture of a star fort that looks exactly like that. Crosses. Obviously, there's other symbolism going on here. Crosses normally symbolize the sky and our stars, and we've got the glory of God here, and this some kind of doorway or coat of arms. Is that? That looks like the devil symbol, like the hand, the hard rock, heavy metal, 2 fingers up symbol, doesn't it? There you go, rock around the clock. This is in the Temple of Bhuj in Kutch in India. And I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? Look at the work that's gone into this. But again, all cymatic shapes. These are all cymatic patterns. So what are they? And there's so many of these, engravings of people, looking like they're doing something. Like, what are these? What are these telling us? There's got to be a story here. I don't think they're random, but just, I mean, the intricacy and work that goes into these ceilings is just insane. Here's another one we've all probably seen, a cymatic that looks like this, and of course Star Fort's very similar. And again, just to build this, you can see it, all the contours here. It's not just a flat, what is that? Hexagon. You can see that's lower than this. This is all contoured. So that's not easy to make and come out with a perfect circle, right? When these are all on different levels and going up and down, and then of course in the stained glass window all around it, again, more cymatic patterns. And some of these patterns are also eerily similar to electromagnetic symbolism that they use in electrics and things like ohm signs and all that kind of stuff. Here's some more. Got the angels, the 4 angels, all right, around the round flat earth. Mount Meru in the middle, inlands, maybe Hyperborea, and the outerlands. And this, we see this design on the top of all the buildings. If that was the outside, it'd be the same thing, the dome, with the spire and pillars or angels around the outside, or 4 smaller domes sometimes. This one's made out of brick. Imagine having to make this. Where would you start? Just the maths and the engineering that would have to go into getting all these bricks cut the exact right size, angles and everything, and then to get them all in there perfectly. And this webbing of whatever this stuff is, probably geopolymer, pretty amazing. And then just there, these cymatic sort of symbol flat. They look a lot like the watches too, don't they? From that we see on the Sumerian, the Sumerian carvings and glyphs, which is interesting, right? Because we're told they're the watches, right? And they wear watches. It's very, very interesting. Here's some more now. A lot of these, obviously, this is new age, new world religion, should we say it, all this symbolism. So a lot of these have been repainted, or at least imagined. I don't know if it's actually paint. These stories we get of Michelangelo lying on his back for years to paint the Sistine Chapel. It doesn't seem very likely, really, does it? And there's big questions about all the artists, really, when you look into it, all the Renaissance artists. I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, we don't even imagine this stuff today. And we know we don't, because people get in these buildings and they're like, oh my God. And yep, there he is, right on the ceiling. So just crazy. So again, these are all cathedrals. There you go, nice classic cymatic pattern. Next to the, of course, stained glass windows with their cymatic patterns up the top. Almost looks like there's sound being funneled up into this, doesn't it? And we don't know where the organ is. It could all be connected, but basically pumping out good vibrations, I think. And does this, is probably just a symbol of the type of cymatic. I mean, they could probably read these in the old world. They probably look at that and go, oh, that's wellness, or whatever, right? Because every frequency has a shape and a color, and it does a certain thing. I mean, look at this. This is Morelia Cathedral in Mexico. And talk about going overboard. And this place is, and again, it's the same, right? Same patterns that we saw in Europe. We've got in Mexico, these same design patterns, logos, cymatics, whatever you want to call them. Always the same. Is that the fleur-de-lis? Fleur-de-lis everywhere. More cymatic ceilings, and of course cymatic windows over here. And you can see it's a repeating pattern too of this same cymatic. So I mean, this could even be some kind of wiring or whatever, some kind of cable connections to connect it all electrically, who knows? Because you see it everywhere, don't you? This kind of, doesn't seem necessary, it's just sort of facading, but pretty insane. And just stained glass everywhere, right? To let the light in. Got to be enlightened. Looking very much like the pillar, right? The central pillar, also like a tree, a farm tree, but the central pillar, Rupus Negro, or the tree of life. Is that what this is representing? And of course, this is all geometry, and geometry, all shapes give off a field, like an electromagnetic field, right? So, good geometry gives off good fields, right? And all this brutalism that we see, all these boxes, it's brutal. It gives off bad fields, and that's why people get unhealthy and sick, is we're all living in boxes. That is not good for our energy bodies. This is Santa Maria della Vittoria in Rome, Italy. Again, pretty amazing. And these things are just everywhere. Cymatic ceilings. Oh, that's a colourful one. Looks like a game, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. Every ceiling's different. Well, these two are the same, but look at that. Different designs, right? Just why not? If you can make it harder, make it harder. And look, we've got a monstrance here. Mini cathedral. Pipe organs. So this one's got all the kit. Again, just, St. Albans Cathedral in the UK. And you can see, this it wouldn't be that hard to inlay these bits with, retrofitted paintings. But it doesn't mean that they're the same age as this. Because this is on another scale to painting. More of those. Oh, have we seen that one? Don't know. Is that the Flower of Life? Kind of. Not quite. This is St. Paul's Cathedral in London. And again, this is a cymatic shape in the middle here. I've definitely seen that one. And these are all musical notes as well as, vibrations, frequencies, intentions, colors. Because all is one, right? St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. And see how they've all got this similar design, haven't they? They've got their dome in the middle with this one's got 4 pillars. This one's got 4 angels. You can see here, these are angels in the corners. So they're all showing a similar thing, right? Again, dome, and they've got the mountain or the tree in the middle. This one's got 4 openings, 4 arches, 4 arcs, maybe archangels. Again, dome in the middle, got the tree, the tree, and 4 arcs. That one's a little bit different, but you see what I'm saying here again, in the middle, and we've got the 4 around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. And we see this on the top as well. Now the domes with either 4 domes around them or 4 statues or 4 pillars. I mean, look at that's ridiculous. So all cymatic shapes. And so I wonder if they tell you what, frequency, what this machine, right, this cathedral machine, what it was pumping out. This might tell you this is for, to cure depression or to gain wealth, or who knows, right? To get rid of kidney stones. And so you go to the right cathedral, get that right frequency pumped in, just like a rife machine, right? Or like the tuning forks that we were talking with Eileen. And this cross, this is just everywhere, isn't it? This sort of cross, feature with the two on the outside, then a cross. Pretty interesting. There it is again. What's going on there? That looks, well, you can still see there's still cymatic patterns in here, right? See that sort of flower thing there? Oops, and there we go. That is the last one. But as you can see, all very similar. And these are from all over the place. This is from Germany, Cologne Cathedral. So there we go. All right, 124 of you watching. Thank you all for being here. ISA Mindset, hello. Brian Rogers, hello. Pamela Stupa, hello. They redid Setting a St. Matthew's Church in East Syracuse, New York. Looks like crap. Yeah, well, I mean, doesn't it look like? There's, I've got this picture. Where is it? Did you all hear there was a guy, he was a monk, I think. I'm going to have to open that. And he was touching up, he was like a painting restorer for the Vatican. And he was touching up a picture of Jesus, and this is what he did. That. So you can see that's the original. Obviously, it needed a bit of work. And this guy, I thought he'd repaint the face. And that's what the painting now looks like. He's done the whole lot. He's completely destroyed it. So yeah, the skill level, one of these does not look like the other. So there you go. Don't do that. Don't go and paint over work, priceless works of art. Linda, hello. Yeah, kaleidoscope. Yeah, exactly, don't they? Exactly. Uki. No, I've been streaming. I've just got on, but I was streaming. I went till about 1 in the morning, and it's now 9 a.m. So I was streaming 9 hours ago. I know, right? Things I do. I'm just a workhorse. How many words used today? Yeah, they're all acronyms, man. Christmas, Christ Mass, breakfast, break the fast, right? They're all, most words. I mean, sorry, they're joining words. Anacronyms, yeah, lots. So an acronym is where the first letters of every word make a new word. Is that correct? I think that's right. Yeah. The spells, man. It's spelling. It's all spelling. First thing they teach you when you go to school, right? Your imaginary friend is not real. Then they teach you how to spell. And everything's spelling. Hollywood, it all comes from Hollywood, right? Hollywood, the tree of the holly tree, the wood of the holly tree, which is what they traditionally made magic wands from. And of course, they sit there in Hollywood, right, with their cast of actors, so they can cast spells. And they when they really want you to believe it, they do a broadcast on the news. It's all spelling. All spelling. We live in a realm of magic, but they've made us believe that it's not. Layers a affirmment, yes. Yeah, that artist, right? I know, he wasn't a believer. That dude was not a believer. Hello, Forjax, how you going? Tiat, Isa Mindset, hello. Oh, casting couch. Oh, what's going on there? Not Netflix, not Prime, just came on. Oh, thank you very much. To join now, hello, how you going? Oh, Benjamin Balderson. What's the box? And check. How you going? Don't know what that means, but hello. I don't mean hello. I mean hail. hell. And of course, everyone go check out Benjamin's channel if you haven't already. All right. So, who, what a week. What a week. So we started the week with balloons flying across the USA, right? Apparently sent from China. And I'm sure everyone has seen this, and they basically let it fly across the whole country and then shot it down after it had left. And then we have the UFOs come in. We had an earthquake in Turkey, and now we've had a train explosion that looked like a nuclear bomb that went off in the USA in a town called Palestine. So, weirdness. Let me see. I have pictures. So what was this balloon? What does everyone think that this balloon may have been? Because obviously, they tell us, stupid stories. And we all know about satellites and satelloons and all this kind of stuff. And, we've all been observing Earth changes, shall we say. We've all noticed things happening in the sky, the sun, moon, they're all different times, speeding, all these weird things, right? So I was thinking, if the atmosphere, the pressure in the upper atmosphere gets more, if the pressure gets more, what that's going to do is compact the gases, right? So essentially it's going to make any gas that's in a balloon, keeping it aloft, it's going to make it less of that gas, essentially, which would make these balloons sink. Is that what's happening? Is that why? Because these UFOs look suspiciously like balloons as well. And this is the International Space Station. Well, so they say. I mean, it looks a lot like a drawing, doesn't it? Especially this bit. But this is what we see, right? This is what they give us. This is the shape. Basically the two big bits on the end and a bar. That's what they say the International Space Station is. There it is again. Clearly, that's a photo from someone hang gliding on top of it. Hang on, that's the wrong picture. This is the spy balloon. And can you see this bit hanging down here? That looks suspiciously like this. All right. Was that the International Space Station? What do you reckon? Because, I mean, if it's up there, they tell us it's lower Earth atmosphere, don't they? Oh my God, I'm jumping ahead. But look at that, right? So this is the balloon, the Chinese spy balloon, and it looks eerily similar to this. So that's one, is that literally the International Space Station? Or, is there an International Space Station, or is there lots? Is that just like a certain type of satellite? And then they blew this balloon up. Like they sent up, fighter jets, right? And the story that's come out is they used a Sidewinder missile. Now the problem with that is a Sidewinder missile is a heat-sinking missile, and this is a balloon. Sure, it may have had some hot air in it. I doubt it, because hot air doesn't last long. So what was this? How could that have been hit by a heat-seeking missile? And who would send a missile at a balloon anyway? This is a picture that just shows you it may have just been a complete, Photoshop. There may have been nothing up there, and we don't know, right? They just present this stuff, in the broadcasts. They're magic spells. But here we have the balloon again. You can see here something hanging down below it. So is that a Saturn or maybe the International Space Station? And this is the fighter jet, and they shut it down. Apparently. Took them, how long? 5 days? This is a picture of one of the UFOs. And again, that looks suspiciously like a balloon. I mean, but, they choose their pictures, right? Their photos. That kind of looks metallic because you can see reflection, but it's not really. The whole thing would be reflecting if that was metallic. So that could be a balloon, right? And again, they've got warplanes up there and they're shooting stuff down in other people's airspace over Canada and all these things. So, obviously we've all heard of Project Bluebeam. We've all kind of been expecting it for the last couple of years. So is this what they're going to try and push? Because there's lots of talk. I'll actually just stop sharing for a minute of UFOs. If I go over to somewhere, okay, let me share again. This one, I think. Military not ruling out shot down UFOs may have come from hostile actions, or this one says, and so they're calling the UFOs, excuse me, which of course means unidentified flying object, but most people, when they hear that term, they think aliens, right? So this is subtle brainwashing, right? They're putting all these, this is spells. They put ideas into your subconscious, and then they start showing you more evidence that that idea is real. It's a spell. They still haven't got the debris, third UFO, shot down. So every one of these stories has got UFOs shot down. So it's building this narrative, isn't it, for alien invasion and an alien war, us having to defend against aliens, which is a stupid thing. If someone, space existed and aliens existed and they actually could get here, we'd have no chance of defending ourselves because their tech would be way too advanced. But this is the thing. So they haven't recovered anything, and it's just UFO. Because when you think of it, well, I suppose they identified the balloon, didn't they? It wasn't really a UFO. But so what are they building here? Do you think they're going to start building Project Bluebeam and coming out with that narrative? That's the question. And then, of course, we have this. In Ohio, train derailment, chemical leak causes chaos. What exactly is going on? Now, they suppressed this story while all the balloon stuff was going on. This is a few days old, and it's only really come out yesterday. And a massive train explosion. Again, the details we don't really know. Some stories say it was a train derailment. Some say that police had to stop the train and was shooting at it, or put bombs or explosives or something there. And of course, it happened in a town called Palestine. How long have they been telling us that there's going to be nuclear war in Palestine? Because that's the explosion, right? This thing was massive, and it's bad. It's full of really bad chemicals. So if you're in that area, I'd advise you get out as fast as you can. This is going to have a lot of lasting effects. And of course, is this all part of, Mr. Gates's agenda, right? We know what he wants to do. He told us in a TED talk, right? He told you straight out, he wants to reduce the amount of beings running around in this realm. So we have this. And then, of course, the Turkey earthquake. So this is all in the last week. All this stuff is going on. And with this train now, I couldn't find a picture. I'll have another look, but you can see there was one. Yeah, this, you can kind of, it's a mushroom, it turns into a mushroom cloud, but they've kind of cut this one off, right? So you can't see the mushroom cloud, because some stories they want us to know and they push at us, and some they don't want us to know. Let me just write mushroom, see what happens. And this is the thing, they suppress so many pictures. I have seen the picture. This is the first one, but yeah, it explodes. I mean, that one's, you can kind of start to see it starting to form, but it forms into like a full-on, what looks like a nuclear bomb cloud. Oh, isn't that interesting? Look at that explosion. Looks like that tower. Don't know what that means. Explosion, right? Here we go. That's an original mushroom cloud from a nuclear explosion. And, this is what we're seeing. where this train blew up. So crazy times, right? Crazy times. What are they trying to hide, do you think? There we are. All right. So, what does everyone think about that? Bread and circuses, yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is the thing. It's all to get our attention to focus on the stuff, right? Everything's bad, everything's falling apart, everything's exploded. Oh my God, we're getting invaded and UFOs and all this. Yeah, well, that's another thing. All that smoke. I don't know exactly where Palestine is, but with a bit of wind, someone else's problem, right? Hey, you going, Cat the damn optimist. All right, so you're optimistic that dams will not break. That's very good to hear. If we do a good job, yeah, exactly right, Mr. Gates. He said it. We're glad you're here, Cat. I know, yeah. The last week was just insane, and there's more. But wait, there's more because we had the Grammys. Oh my God, right? Oh, there you go. Yes, we love Martin here. All right, what else we got here? They could have cooled the tanks, gotten the liquid out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could have been handled. Yeah, a much different way. They just pretty much went in and blew it up, and then suppressed the story for a couple of days. Why does a mushroom cloud happen? It's a good question. I think it's the force of the explosion that it shoots stuff up into the air so quickly, and then the mushroom is it falling back down. I think that's the physics of it, but don't quote me. It's going to be a wild ride, right? Of course, I was talking to Sol Luckman. That's coming up on Friday. Another conversation with Campbell Friday night with Sol Luckman, and we were talking about the reset, and obviously Archaic says 2040, and it's like, man, that's like 17 years away. Can we keep getting crazier for another 17 years? I don't know. I'll have to see, right? Yeah, keep up the vibrations. Don't buy into the fear, people. That's all they've got. There you go. Only love, no fear. It can suck oxygen. Well, that's, yeah, explosions. Oh, I see what you mean. So, yeah, okay. That would, cause as well, like the sort of collapsing, sucking in of the cloud at the top. Like I said, I'm not a physicist, so my answer may be wrong. If anyone can enlighten us, please do. Yeah, and this is the thing. Nothing is good or bad, right? But thinking makes it so. So we can go, oh my God, it's so bad in explosion, or we can go, well, they're really showing their hand now, aren't they? They're showing us what's going on. They're hiding stuff clearly to promote other stuff. We can see this. We know what satelloons are now, so a lot of people aren't even looking at their version of the story, about bloody spy balloons. We know they're satellites. Of course they're satellites. The question is, why are they suddenly all appearing? Why are they, wouldn't it be interesting if next week there was 100 of them and they were literally all dropping, because they're all sitting up, in a level in the atmosphere at a certain height. And if they lose pressure in their balloons, they're going to drop to another level. So I wonder if that's what happened. Light a match in a snow globe, and study what happens. How do you get the match in the snow globe? Aren't they full of water? I'm confusion. Rob Michigan, hello. They lit it on fire. The train. Yeah, that's what seems to be coming out. I heard that a story saying the police were shooting it or something, or burnt it or something. And then I think the first story they came out and they said, oh, no, it was a derailment. It was just an accident. But now it's coming out that planned, right? And is this just to sort of show, because clearly some people aren't getting what's happening, what's going on in the wider world and politics. So is this, all this craziness, it's really just to show the sleepers, look, hello, these are the people that you've voted in to rule you. And look, they're blowing up trains full of chemicals. Wake up. Wake up. Radiation loves oxygen. Well, there you go. I am learning. We're all learning. Thank you, Paul. So that's probably, you know, part of that mushroom cloud would be like the collapse of it. Yes, that as well. Was that in the last week? It's been a big week. Yeah, exactly right. The one from that island, right, where those people go. Oh, okay. They say it's going to be worth money. Oh, it was boring. The Super Blow, yeah, the Super Bowl is another thing that happened, and we've got a bit of that. So let me just show you. I'll get through the rest of these. The week that was. We'll call it the week that was. The week that was pictures. The week that was. Where? Oh, there. All right. So what else we had was this. The Grammys. This is Harry's Got No Style, dressed as a woman and promoting it to his teenage audience. Okay, this was him at the Grammys, right? And do notice what's here in the background. Someone's watching you. But yeah, like this is what they're trying to promote as male. Look at this. And, you know, not to say that, you know, rock stars didn't dress like this in the 70s. But, you know, that was the start of this whole demasculation thing, all this, you know, the 70s was rife, you know, the David Bowies and that, and the face painting and the spandex. So they're just trying to bring it back, but it's all, you know, demasculating, right? And all aimed at our children, our young people. It's not aimed at us. Now who's this? Does anyone know who this is? Very handsome lady. Now let's see what picture's next. I'm hoping it's the right one. Oh, it is, yeah. So John Cena. All right. Again, put up as a man, a wrestler. I think is he saying, I think he won 5 titles or something, but, you know, very, very well known. Now he's, you know, an action star, I guess. They're trying to make him in the movies. And this is him last week. Photographed. Even this dude who is a mask wearer, even he's surprised that John Cena is wearing a skirt and stockings. He hasn't got a garter belt on though, because they're like those, you know, garter belts for those stockings, and high heels. All right, John Cena. And makeup, anyone? What's going on here? So this is an agenda, and of course, you know, we know who these people. We all saw this one. All right, we know who these people worship. They show us. Oh my God. That's Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler 2. This is who they worship, right? And they put it in your face, and there's another, you know, agenda behind all that as well. Because anything they want you to believe, you question it. But yeah, what was I saying? So they want, let me go back. Yeah. So the person that they worship is a transgender. Just like this. This is that Sam Smith dude, right? This guy dressing up as this guy who they tell us is a Trans Am, and here he is as a Trans Am. You can see he's got these because he's trying to say, look, I've had my nipples cut off. I mean, and this is what they're trying to promote as cool. And I mean, how unattractive is this dude? Seriously, this is now a pop star. I mean, at least, you know, it was all programming, but at least when we grew up, pop stars were good looking, right? Like, what the hell is this? We got this and we got that Lizzo thing. Well, not we, but children, right? And this, of course, was Sam Smith at the Brit Awards last week in an inflatable suit. Inflatable like a balloon, right? Like a balloon. It was the week of balloons. A coincidence? Who knows? There he is again. Everyone's got their nipples cut off and they love it. You can see. This guy loves it so much that he's got little horns on his heart. All right, he's a bit horny. And isn't that an interesting term, right? Horny. because that's the other thing. We know these guys are a little bit depraved. Or deprived, or both, probably both. And that's it. All right, so you can avert your eyes and wash them out with water, because that was pretty horrific, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's just in the last week. This is what they're doing, this whole trans agenda thing. But like you saw, John Cena, right? This isn't just, these, snowflake little sort of pop stars, the 20 plus. John Cena, 40-year-old action hero, wrestler, muscle dude, man, put him up as an alpha male and then put him in a dress. We've seen this everywhere. They do it to them all the big actors, big singers, they all have to go and wear a dress at some point. It's very interesting. And like I said, it's because who they worship. If you look into, the who that entity is, or who he's described as, it's trans or hermaphrodite, right? That whole kind of twisting and melding of the genders, which is what they're trying to do, right? They're gender benders. Gender benders. All right, 229 of you watching. How is everyone? And we got here new Christopher. Hello. Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. That's what I was just saying before. If we've got 17 years to go, how much crazier can it get? Yeah, laugh at them. Exactly. This is the thing. If you get upset and like start running around going, you can't do that. No. You're actually feeding it energy because you're focusing on it. So the best thing is to just laugh at it. Go, holy crap! Know what's going on. Don't be stupid and sit there and go, well, nothing matters. We still need to know what's going on in the outside world, but we don't have to give it our attention and our energy. We can laugh at it. And this is where I get my news, like literally from, parody channels and meme channels and like Salty Cracker and stuff, because they just laugh at it and point out the stupidity. Because as soon as it becomes a problem, we focus on it, then we create it as a problem. Yeah, exactly right. And this is the thing. They're showing us who they are, right? So if you see a dude walking down the street in a dress, you know to cross the road, right? Get away from that person. Oh yeah, right. Pearl necklace, hey. Hugh Jackman, I'm sure he's done one. There was it Priscilla, Queen of the Desert? They got Guy Pearce and a whole bunch of Aussies to dress up as trans and run around, and yeah, they do it all the time. I think they've done it to Will Smith's done it as well. Yeah. Well, yeah, but 17 years of more craziness. I mean, how can it get more crazy for 17 more years? That's what I don't know. New Babylon. New Babylon. I don't think I've heard that. What's that one about? I haven't heard about that movie. It's not that space one. What was that called? Babylon 5? No. New Babylon. What's it about, Sage? Has Stallone got a dress? Did he wear a dress? The Rock, definitely. The Rock's definitely done it. The Rock's definitely, he is 100% bought and sold and just a complete shill who does what he's told. A little poem there for you, right? Bought and sold. Little shill does what he's told. Not that I'd say that to his face because he's really, really big. But yeah, he's just a complete agenda player. The spy balloons, yeah. So the spy balloons are most probably satellites, because satellites as they tell us don't exist. All satellites are basically satelloons. They're all connected to hot air balloons. You can check it out. NASA is the largest owner and manufacturer of helium in the world. They're all launched from Antarctica. And in fact, I can show you if you haven't seen this before. And so I'm theorizing that if there's been a pressure change in the upper atmosphere, that's going to make these satelloons drop lower in the sky. So they just may be dropping into our visibility, or it may be a play to get their fake alien invasion Project Bluebeam going, right, to get this whole narrative of, you know, invasion and UFOs and stuff in people's heads, because that's what a spell is. That's what they do. That's what I've got here. Okay, yeah, look at this. So if I share the screen with you all, so these are satelloons, right? These are satellites. This is how a satellite is launched from Antarctica, and they just put them on balloons. Well, here we go. You can see big balloons, you know, looking suspiciously like the Chinese spy balloons. This is how they want you to. This is what they want you to believe. How they get them up there. This is how they actually get them up there. Big balloon. Come ride with me in my beautiful balloon. They're not giving us many good ones. They are here though. There goes another one. And it says here NASA's balloon program, right? Super Tiger, another one getting launched. You can see this looks like it's got the satellite on the back of the truck. Launch of barrel balloon, don't know what that one is. At Haiti Research Station. Globe trotting super balloon. So, and I mean, look at this, right? Does this not look like, see on the back of this truck here? Oops, can't zoom in this bit. Does that not look like, you know, what they were showing us under that spy balloon, right? That I was saying could be the International Space Station. So this is what's hanging underneath these. So that's what we were looking at. Satelloons. Here's another one. All right, just about to take off. We tie the balloon to it. But they mix it up, right? They want you to believe, you know, it's like, here we go, we'll put this in. You know, and here they write satellite launched, right? They always put satellite and launching in that when it's the rocket ships, right? Satellite. But when it's the balloons, they just put balloon. They don't want you to link the satellite to the balloon. So it's just all, again, it's all spells, right? Spell casting. So there we go. And this, of course, is what they want us to think. That's a very small picture, sorry. Satellite way up in space. But that is what we saw tied underneath the so-called Chinese spy balloon. So, yeah, there's a few ideas. Is probably satellites that have dropped down because of a pressure change in the upper atmosphere, and maybe used because, or, you know, maybe separately put up there to kick off the narrative of the Project Bluebeam, right? Invasion, space invaders. All right. Here we go. Oh, what was that? Apparently, the first balloon, its software was written in English. Ha ha ha. Yes. Well, yes and no. Yes, they're not what they tell us. They do have, you know, these things that was, you know, relay signals, but yeah, they're all hanging off balloons. Sire. That's where Sir comes from, right? Casting satelloons, yeah. Pharmakia, yes, pharmakia, of course. Means magic, sorcery, pharmaceutical, and of course, you know, big pharma, you know, that the pH is the whole Phoenician phonetics that they've taken over. But you put an F there and it suddenly becomes farm again, right? Food, healthiness. So everything's just inversion. Look up there, ignore the world burning around you. Well, it's always to cover up something, because like literally it's look up there, ignore the train burning, you know, burning in Palestine, right? Because that train was going up at the same time and they didn't tell anyone. Thank you, hippie. Excuse me, yeah, man. And it's all about fear. It's all it's about. People are waking up and seeing what's going on, so they have to double down on the fear, right? That's their only option. That's all they've got. They don't have a lot of tools in their bag. But the ones they do have, they're good at. Yeah, well, not for us. They're still using Zeppelins. They're still using all that tech. Like, this is the thing. With all this stuff, it's not like they take it away from themselves. They just take it away from us. So we're not allowed to use airships, but I can guarantee you they are. I mean, they're probably using them to get out to Antarctica and stuff. If there's extra land, they're definitely using them to get out there. But again, so these are like modern airships, right? There's tons of them. Look at this one. This is a big, like, triple one. So it's like 3 balloons tied together. Have these massive things. It's got 4 places to sit. It can land on the ground. This one. Look at this super wide one. That's not a blimp, because we can tell, right? It's got the capsule. That's a proper airship. Zeppelin. Of course, most of them are used by, the armed forces, right? Because then it can all be top secret. It's a good excuse that we can't look into it. Look at this one. Woohoo! That's this concept, but this is what they're looking at is, mega, literally hotels in the sky. But yeah, there's tons of them that they use. There was a new one that they were just developing. Where is it? Can't see it. But they're definitely working on these. They're definitely using them. And they know all about the tech. They just don't want us to have it. Which is why they kind of need to suppress it and make it all armed forces and out of our reach, right? Because if we could get onto airships, they're going to have a lot harder time policing the Arctic and Antarctic, right? All kings shall fall before. Well, the emperor is wearing no clothes. Big Pharma saved my life. Oh, did it? Could it have been saved another way? Would you have been healthier if you took that option? This is the thing, we don't know. A lot of people say this worked really well for me, but there may have, there's always may have been a better way. Yes, watching from Facebook. How are you going, Argy? Welcome. That's real time together, the fake to hide the real. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, oh my God, I'm so far back in the comments. Thank you all for commenting. 260 of you watching at the moment. Tet or Tech? Tet, that's Egyptian, right? Tet, what's the Tet? Can't remember. Yep, yeah. So did I show? I did, yeah, I did show the train, didn't I? The explosion test. I think I did that. Just got to make sure I've got everything done. Oh, and we even saw the weirdos and the Trans Ams. Oh, actually, I didn't know. Where is? I don't think I did show the train, did I? Oh, I did. That's right. We looked at the bomb. Yes, sorry. All right, so all right, so let's have a look at this first. So this, I was watching Jay Dreamers about a week ago, and it's a show called, what do you call it? Sky Fossils. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you haven't checked out Jay Dreamers channel, please do. Good stuff there. And he was showing these fossils that are basically completely encapsulated in rocks, in what we would call river rocks and river stones, right? And actually, now I should have, let me just see if I can get some actual pictures of this, because there's actually quite a few people out there doing this. All these rocks, right? See, this is a rock. Inside that rock, a crab. Look, this is a fossilized crab, right? This is another one. This is another one. All right, this is another one. This is another one. These are all obviously sitting and connected to the rock, but people have gone in and they've painstakingly taken off the top layers to reveal what's inside the rock. And what's inside the rock is a crab. Right? This. And there's tons of them. And these, like I said, these are just what we would call river rocks. Here's a nice claw. Another crab. Oh, he looks like he's doing a bit of a dance, that one. Let me see. You'll see I've got a video we're going to sort of skip through to show you the process. Look at this one. This one, he's even got the legs. Oh, that may be fake, that one. I don't know. But definitely most of them are real, like this. You see, that's a crab, right? Encapsulated in mud, which is then solidified into a rock. And they make these river rocks. I mean, you can see it like this, right? You can see what half of that's like. So just the rocks that we see everywhere. And we call them river rocks. That's what these all contain. Here we use a fossil of a horseshoe crab. Heaps of other crabs. They've even found a penguin in one of these. Penguins are something else they find. And what will I put? Rock. So I never knew that these existed. So what these look like is that, you know, these animals are moving, that they're not crushed, right? They're fully intact, as you know, as far as their bodies and that. It looks like they've suddenly been hit with a lot of mud, right? And they've been rolled around and the mud stuck to them, you know, creating that sort of circle shape, and they've been rolled around and encapsulated and then petrified. That's what it looks like, right? I'm not sure what the official narrative on these are, but these are literally inside rocks. So you can see, like, here's a rock, and that's what's inside it. And you can actually tell on the outside of the rocks there's markers that'll tell you if it's got something inside it, basically. Rick. Okay, we don't want a Rick fossil. We probably don't want a penguin crab either. Penguin rock fossil. Yeah, so here we go. Like, I mean, clearly, you know, most fossils, yes, are found underground, but the crabs we were looking at are found in stones. They're not found in, like, under the ground in you know, as bits of other, you know, like all these ones they're showing. You can see this has been cut out of a big slab of rock or something. Same with this. But these crabs are literally rocks, river rocks. So let's have a look. And this is probably going to be copyrighted, so I'm just going to flip through it. I won't play it. But you can see this is what he's ended up with. So if we go here, you'll see these are the rocks. This is what he collects. Okay, just these river rocks. And he's pointing out here. Can you see this circle there and a circle there? That's how he knows. And there's another one there. You can see that's how he knows that there's a crab in this. I think these are the tips of the legs, but there's all these different markers. But this is literally what he's picking up, these rocks, right? And so he gets it, and he gets his little Dremel tool, his little it's like an engraver, I guess, and just starts really slow. This one took him 200 hours. And he just starts taking off little tiny slithers of the rock. And he keeps going. And eventually, you can see there, he's just uncovered the very top of the crab's back. Okay, so he starts working around that. Gets bigger, keeps going. And he's literally just taking off tiny bits. Here he's painting it with like a plastic coating just to protect it. And he just keeps going for 200 hours. And you can see one of the claws here is starting to appear. There we go. Got crab, got claw. And we just keep going. And this crab completely encapsulated in what we're told is a rock, right? And they have all these stories of geology and how they were formed and everything, but explain how the crab got in it. Now we've got 2 claws. You start to see the crab appearing. And we keep going. And inside is a fully formed crab. And you can see that's his hand. It's a fairly decent sized crab. And so if you watch his videos, this is his channel, Mam Lambo Fossils. It's really good channel. It blows your mind when you see them just start to reveal these things. But when you see him collecting the rocks, just walking on the beach, like he's showing them everywhere. He's like, here's one. Like these things are everywhere. And it's kind of like the Heartstone that Stellium 7 Mike talks about that are everywhere. These are the same everywhere. And we've all seen these river rocks, right, with these funny little bits on the outside. If I can get back here, with these funny little, holes. And I've seen that. I'm sure you have. You're probably looking at a fossil. There could be one of these inside that rock. And actually, probably most definitely is. Whoops. So there you go. That's the finished product. 200 hours. He started with a rock, and that's what he ended up with. Just showing the whole claw. This one actually, see if it shows that this bit cracks and he knocks the side off, and you get to see the whole claw. Yeah, there you can kind of see it's sort of fallen off underneath it. So there you go, right? Is this from a mud flood? Is this all these creatures? Like I said, there's penguins, there's crabs, there's other crustaceans, lobsters and stuff. Is this a mud flood? The mud coming down from wherever, filling up the water or wherever these creatures were, because penguins are near the water. It seems to be near the water. So filling the water up with mud, and they all get stuck, and then it rolls around and it turns, as it hardens, and they get sort of turn into roundish rocks, and then they harden, and this is what we have, right? So there you go. Have you ever seen that before? What do you think of that? Oh, where are we? Yeah, right. Yes, that does rock. Yeah, 200 hours it took him. That's the thing, right? You just have to be so patient with that, because he was saying that a lot of the crabs are empty. They're rotted out, right? The shells are hollow, and if you hit it, it would just smash it if you sort of tap it too hard. Oh, really? Well, there you go. Well, it looks like it was the mud flood that caused them. That they're literally wrapped up in the mud. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's a bit sad. You wouldn't want to be a crab during a mud flood, would you? Oh, wow. There you go. Maybe that's where they got the idea from. Lots of people. Crab, yeah, cancer. Cancer the crab. 12 million years? What? I give up. What's 12 million years? Yeah. Well, it could be. It could be. It could be volcanoes. It could be runoff from mountains and things, either man-made or not. It could be, dew weapons. It could be a myriad of things, really. Until we can study the mud and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to know. Well, I mean, to be fair, Sam, yes, but these were out a long time before Paul started showing his stuff. So I don't think that they're. If you're suggesting that they might be hoaxes, I don't think they are. Because like I said, there's heaps of them and there's lots of channels and they've been doing it for years. But I mean, Paul Cook, he went into show some of the underground, catacombs and things that he finds in England, showed them and went back, and the government had been in there and blocked them up, bricked them up, like between his visits. So clearly they are watching what we're doing. Oh, what are you addicted to, Alistair? Chocolate? Oh my God. Oh, I'm guessing that's 35 Fahrenheit. Because 35 is probably going to be 35 here today too, but Celsius, so a little bit different. I don't know how you people live in the snow. It's not normal. Paul is awesome. He is. Yes, I mean, for glaciers to melt and cause a mud flood, they would have to melt very, very quickly, but to create a torrent of water that would create a mud flood. So maybe, but there would have to be something else involved, like a dew weapon, maybe, and maybe that's what happened, right? Maybe they stopped the ice age by melting it. No, mean mud flood. Mud flood. We're not sure what caused it, but we have buildings all across the realm that are under the ground. We've now found buildings that have 3 levels and more that are buried under the ground. So they're all buried with mud, and that's what we call a mud flood. You do get mud floods today. They might call them mud slides, where up in the mountains where towns go under, but this is a much bigger event that's in the cities, not on the mountains. Oh, really? Wow. How old was the rock? I mean, what? Oh, well, I suppose, yeah, okay, yeah, because it was like in hibernation, I guess, type thing that frogs can do. Wow. How bizarre. Well, everyone's a creator. We are creating all this, all this, that's the other thing, right? All this stuff, all this turmoil, all this, we're collectively creating it all, and we're the only ones that can collectively change it. The meat from what? In those fossils, he was saying that some are empty shelled and some are not. So I guess some are full of meat. But yeah, I don't know. If you're encapsulated in a rock, you would think that the meat can't actually rot, wouldn't you? So I don't know. Have to look more into it. Maybe we'll have to ask a geologist. Hey, see what they say. That could be fun. Mud rain, yeah, right. Mud rain, mud rain. I think Prince told us about that. Of course, purple rain, right? REIGN, purple, color of the royals, purple rain. It's poop. Yes, Fred was pooping all over the realm. Mud fish, yeah. Well, there's another one. There's let me show you. Another thing that we find all across the place is fish fossils. And actually there's birds as well. But it's a fish fossilized at the time of eating another fish. So some of you may have seen this before. But and so all these this is another thing that really points to a cataclysm, to something like a mud flood, right? Because we have all these, right? And you can see this is a fish with a fish coming in, like literally in the process of eating another fish, and it's a fossil. So what can fossilize, an animal so quick that it's literally in the, it's half eating a fish, and there's tons of them. All right, we've got heaps of these half eating. So something's happened at some point to, well, for starters, to make a lot of fish eat a lot of other fish, right? So it looks like there was some kind of, disruption in the oceans, and that was corralling the fish into certain areas, right? And so you had all big fish and small fish together, and you get a feeding frenzy. And then something has covered them all in mud and turned them to fossils in the act of eating, which is just ridiculous. To have one of these is just, astronomical, to have multiples. Look at this one. This is, I think it's eating a bird. You can see the feet here, and it looks like these are wings. It looks like a dinosaur. It looks like it's got teeth. But this looks like a fish that's jumped out and grabbed a bat or a bird, and got fossilized in the process of doing that. All right. Another one, a fish going into a fish. So it's just crazy, and this is the stuff they don't tell us, because this raises way too many questions. All right. Fish eating. I'll just see if we put in bird. We get fish eating bird. Here's, what's that? That could be a bird. But there are a few of, or maybe it's birds eating fish. Birds and fish, right? Which again sort of points to some kind of cataclysm and fish being thrown up out of the ocean, right, into the air. Let's see if we can find one bird eating, and then we'll have a quick look at empty Paris in the 1800s. What am I writing 18 for? Fossil bird eating fish. So fish. Oh, there's a dancing fossil. No, I have seen them, but it's not going to show it. Maybe it's just way too controversial. No, but anyway, like the fish, I mean, is it big enough? And crabs in rocks, right? Have you ever heard of either of those? Did they teach you that in biology and geology at school? No. And the question is why? Clearly that's got a lot to do with our realm and what makes it up and what's going on here in geology, but they don't want to tell you for some strange reason. All right, 279 of you watching. Thank you all for being here. Maybe the electrons from the grounds create a fossilized discharge. Yeah, it could be a grounding thing. It could be high mineral content in water. We have Mother Shipton's cave in the UK, and you can literally hang a teddy bear, like a soft toy, under this water, and it'll be a rock within 3 months, and it's all to do with the minerals in the water, mineral content. But definitely electricity, you can have the same kind of effect, turn things to stone. And the word petrified is pretty interesting, isn't it? Scared stiff, right? Petrified trees. What were they scared of? So where are we here? Don't eat. Yeah, no, definitely don't eat the fish from Ohio anymore. Oh, that's interesting. Don't wash saltwater fish in fresh water. It's probably not a bad piece of advice. So yeah, Medusa. Yeah, Medusa. Martin calls it Medusa tech. This because the questions about all these statues, right? It has been asked, are they petrified people? Because we get the story of Lot's wife, Medusa, these stories of people turning to stone, turning to statues, right? The static you, the you that doesn't move, the statue. All right. Yeah, Liechtenstein is another one. I mean, there's so many. And this is why I don't, I'm not an everything's melted person. I'm not an everything is trees person. I'm not an everything is Titans person. I think it's a bit of everything. I think we have evidence for all of that. And I think we're talking about multiple resets. And if we've got multiple resets, it would be very unlikely that at each reset, the same thing happened, right? So yeah, I think we're looking at lots of things. But definitely the Liechtenstein of, what are they called? lines, whatever, come into it. They're the ones that look like the tree roots that we see everywhere, the big plasma sort of discharge looking thing. Mountain ranges that look like Liechtensteins. Luke. Luke's fun. Luke's cool. He's 28 too, by the way. He's a man. He looks like a kid though. Lot's wife, yeah, right. And of course, with that's in the Bible, which talks that they had come from Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Lot, and we know Sodom and Gomorrah. That was, and if you read into Sodom and Gomorrah, they kind of say, "Oh, it was just bad people," but there was some really heinous stuff going on there. Like if you read what the bad stuff, like what we're seeing now, it's literally Sodom and Gomorrah is the world that they're trying to create now. The world that we see on TikTok, at the Grammys, right? In all these pop stars in men wearing dresses. Like literally, it says with Sodom and Gomorrah that you wouldn't you wouldn't enter the cities because you'd just be gang raped, whether you're a man or a woman. And it was just this like what we're seeing now, right? This whole sexual perversion thing, this rooting everyone, no matter what their gender and all this. That's what they're trying to recreate now, right? And then just after they got out of Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's wife got turned to stone. So that sounds like maybe an event just after the world went crazy, like what's happening now. So history repeats. Of course, they tell us it doesn't, but I think it does. So is that just a story of what's happening now, right? We're literally in Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, look what's going on. That's what they're trying to create. And so and of course, Lot's wife was the only one who looked back, right? So the parable in that is they left, all the debauchery in that to go get something new, build a new, whatever. But Lot's wife was still tied to the old world and looking back at it. And so she got turned to stone. She got stoned. Oh, Mr. Beagle, hello, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Chef, aka succulents. No lipids, no fats. My son's actually studying to become a chef. My eldest boy. Halftime at Super Bowl, yeah. So, Medusa. We had Medusa, or was it Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler? I'm still not sure. Actually, there was those. Do you remember those twins? What were their names? They were French, and they had like their heads kept growing. I think they're dead now. But they look like Madonna, man. Let me see if I can find a picture. I don't even know what to type in. Big head twins. Oh, here they are. These, seriously, man, this is Madonna, right? This is what I thought of when I saw that picture of Madonna. I thought of these dudes. This is how they started, but yes, that their heads kept growing. They had like a genetic disease, apparently. I think, and cat people. The plastic surgery, right? They always look like cats or lions. But these dudes, well, you can see there. That's them when they were young. They were like on TV, and they were like, sex symbol dudes. But then they ended up being quite freaky. This is his head next to Akhenaten. And of course, a lot of people are saying, was it a genetic abnormality? I mean, look at the chin there, man. Ooh, very similar, right? Or is this maybe some trait of, some throwback, right, of some other species maybe? And is that what's trying to pop out through Madonna? Oh my God, what the hell? It's got to be hard to eat. God, Siamese twins, man, that's shocking. But these dudes, here they are. What do you reckon? Madonna? I mean, they're pretty freaky looking dudes, aren't they? The Bogdanov, what are they called? Bogdanov twins. Bogdanov, yes. So there you go. That's who I thought of. Yeah, but they're obviously they say it's a genetic thing with them, but they do kind of have that look like we see with all these people who go overboard on plastic surgery, and obviously Mr. Obama, who we saw there, from ancient Egypt, right? That's what they want us to say. Could be a trait of that, because and this is the thing with a lot of these elite types, or the L-ites, which is what they are, right? The L-ites, they're a group of people just like the Canaanites. We don't see a lot of them, and a lot of their kids and that they hide all that, so those people could be everywhere in cone heads and that we just don't see them, right? Just don't see them. But yeah, they do look like cartoon characters. Yeah, Madonna. Yeah, so I think that's definitely Madonna definitely looks like them. All right, so what do we got? An hour 20. So to finish off, let's have a look at Paris from between 1865 and 1870. And we see the same thing. We see empty streets. So these are all, like I said, between what did I say? 65 and 70. Okay, and of course, the usual architecture, right? The usual suspects, the oversized street lamps, the non-level building, shall we say, the mud flood, cymatic windows, arches, porticos, domes, everything, right? Except people. Cobblestone. We have a wooden fence here. Does that say defensive? No, that would be funny. Which they could have made. That's made out of wood. This, people of the 1860s, well, clearly could have made it because there's no people here. This is, no, I haven't written the name down and I have forgotten what it's called. Someone let us know in chat this famous name of this cathedral. It's the one that you see, it's in the black and white photos. We see the front of it with these big twin towers, right? The twin columns. Boaz and Joachim, right on the water, as most cathedrals are, close to, man-made canals, right, with their man-made walls. And I remember it was only like 3 years ago. I used to think that like canals were rivers and they were natural. I do not think that anymore. Here's the front of that cathedral. I forgot the name. No, I haven't. I actually just downloaded these quickly because I thought I had them already, and I downloaded them quickly this morning, and so I haven't named them, which is a very bad habit. So this is the front of it. This, and I've mentioned this a few times, this doorway, this bit here, this is called an archivolt. An archivolt. All right, volt, V-O-L-T, volt as in electricity. And what do cathedrals have inside them but vaulted ceilings? Right, again, sort of, the language is telling us what these are. There's something electrical going on here, right? The voltage, and the spires and all this, get inspired, man. The Arc de Triomphe. It looks like they've done a bit of repair work here. Oh no, is that a tent? Yeah, okay, it's a tent. And just massive, massive buildings. But again, where are the people? Where are all the people? And these are quite big. These, I don't know what these are. These are quite guard houses. They're very tall. Now, is it the Arc de Triomphe? I'll show you a few pictures actually when I get through these. I've got some, I don't know if it's of the Arc de Triomphe, but it's of one of these arches with giants in it. Another angle again. And all these trees, by the way, all the same size, all look newly planted, right? And where are the people? Fountains are running. Is that what? Oh, okay, they're not stairs. It's just a big fountain. angel up there. He's got his lightning rod in his hand, standing on the devil. And are they, yeah, griffins. Griffins with dragon tails. But they're the griffins with like the dragon wings, because most griffins have bird wings. These are clearly dragon wings. But anyway, working fountains, right? So that all the people that aren't there can come and quench their thirst. Because there's not one person in this photo. Hang on. Am I a liar? Is that someone down there? No, don't think so. No one here, right? And of course, people always say, oh, well, it's because they took it at a certain time of day and all this kind of stuff. No, don't believe it. There's no way you could completely, if this was a functioning city, because the thing is the size of these cities, to build a city that big with the narrative, they would have to have the population to go along with it. So we're talking hundreds of thousands, and you can't clear city streets when you've got hundreds of thousands of people. Impossible. This is France. All right. Parthenon, anyone? There's one of these in Tennessee in the USA as well. Same buildings, which makes me, think that these are a machinery, a specific machine. All the Parthenons do the same thing. The man-made canals. I mean, look at it. It's just the whole thing is man-made, right? Out of masonry, the bricks, the edges, everything. And then just, fairy castles and stuff. And again, no people. No people. No people. Where are all the people? What's going on here? Because, I mean, like I said before, look at the size of these buildings. A city this size could house minimum hundreds of thousands of people, if not a million. But there's no one here. So why is the city here? We're told that these cities were built out of necessity. People moved there, and then trade, started building up. So they needed shops and warehousing. So more people came because they needed more workers, and that built more things. And then the wealth grew, and then there was a gold rush, and then they built everything. That's the story of every city. But it's not what we see. All right? We see empty streets. We see freshly planted trees, all the same size. Which means, what does that mean? That if all these trees are the same size, that means this whole city was built in one go, and then they went back and planted it out, right? It was there. They found these cities. This is part of the Palace of Versailles. So this originally, the water was pumping here from the machine of Marley. So this is very old tech. And water, and every one of these stairs that the water runs down is a different height, because it's tuning the water. It's tuning it, right? Here is a very big column, and on the top an angel going la, doing a little dance. I think that sky, I think that's just a stain. Don't think that's manipulation, but of course, vanilla skies, right? Nothing in the sky. I thought we had a person there hiding behind the pole, but I don't think we do. So again, not one person, no people. And I mean, what's the purpose of this? How hard would that be to build in 1860 with no power tools? Why would you even attempt it? It's just silly. Another light pole, looks like a cactus. Balls, obelisks, working fountains, massive buildings, and not one person. We have people. One person. And he's just there waiting for someone to come. He's like, oh my God, I took the wrong job. I'm a taxi driver in a city with no people. Not good. Look at the size of this building though, right? How many people could be housed in this? If it's for housing, of course, the government will steal it and take it for themselves. But, the city is built for a lot of people, but there's no people here anywhere. apart from our little lone coach driver. I mean, look at this, completely built out. All the roads are paved with cobblestone. Very clean city, but empty. Empty. Dun, dun, dun. Well, the fountains are working pretty well. Another completely ridiculously oversized column, pillar. I mean, what's the point? Are they big antennas maybe? I don't know, but it's a lot of work, right? For something that we apparently just look at. Of course, if that was, an energy device, if it had another function, then you could see why they would build it. It would have some point to it. But as a function, functionless column, nah. That's why they always to commemorate people. It's always, it's a war to commemorate the fallen, or let's commemorate this, pope or priest or politician. Is that a person? I don't know. Looks like a bike or something. But again, right, completely. I mean, look at this city. Look at this back. Look at this. 1870s or 60s to 65 to 70. Look at the size of the building here. That could house, literally tens of thousands of people. And then you've got all this bit up the side here at the back. I mean, this is a city for hundreds of thousands of people. They even got a phone box. Well, what looks like a phone box in the 1870s, 1860s. Maybe it's just Doctor Who has dropped in. But yeah, not one person, right? Not one person. Someone left their bike behind, and very clean city. Not the Arc de Triomphe, but another arch, which I think has been knocked over. And here we do have a couple more buggies, 2, maybe 3, but that's it. Oh, hang on. No, there's 2 more people there. Okay, so we've got 5 people in this picture to inhabit this massive city. I mean, old world, dirt roads, old world iron. Who was making this? All these phone poles are iron. Who was making them? Where are the foundries? Foundry, right? Interesting name. Foundry. And Antiquitech, right? Inspiring stuff. What's it called? That's that's that big building that I know the name of that I can't remember. Yeah, look at the size of it. It's just ridiculous. And of course, France, kept a lot of their old world buildings because they have the narrative that because they had a royal family and they have that French, kind of look to their buildings, right? But it's just all facading. It's just like there's a look to the Tuscan stuff or the German stuff or whatever it may be. The Swedish stuff. Look at that tower. Tower to where? That is the question. Yep, this is not Rome. This is France. Clearly. I mean, you can see the size of that statue. And it's up on a pedestal. So imagine how big this door is compared to a human. And again, here we got 1 horse. Of course. And that's it. Empty. Oh, okay. So that's it. This is not from 1865. And it's not even France. This is Russia. I don't know how it got into this folder, but yeah, this is just an abandoned building, right? You can kind of see some of the wires here, maybe from the Antiquitech. These are, what are they called? I want to say radial antennas, and that may be right, but they're a type of antenna. Of course, we've got domes, resonators. But I mean, all red brick, of course, but just left to rot. Literally just left to rot. which is crazy. Why would you leave a building like this, put all this time and effort into building one of these, and then leave it to rot? The answer is you wouldn't. But after resets, lots of these things get lost and forgotten. And, oh, there you go. That was the end photo. So there we go. What do you think of that? France in the 1860s. And no people, right? So this is, we get this narrative of, the 1860s to 70s, all the cities seem to be empty. The first World's Fairs started in 1850 in England. And then it sort of goes across the realm, so England at that time was full, but most other cities were empty. Russia, we've got all the pictures of Russia being empty. And then all these people start to appear around the 1880s. The orphans come in, the orphan trains, the factory kids, and literally just looks like they've found cities, cleaned them out, and then repopulated them. And as they were repopulating, they were reprogramming and telling everyone that they were just insignificant little workers and to do what they were told. And here we are, right? 200 years later, some people still just want to be told what to do. Just tell me what to do. All right. Oh, yes, that's what. Yes, thank you very much. I hit 75K overnight. So that was quite a battle. It took me, because you see, I get between, what is it? I think it's between like 1,800 and 3,000 new subs every month. Also, YouTube tell me. But it was about 6 to 8 weeks to go from 74,000 to 75,000. So there you go. But thank you very much. Yes, and thank you everyone. Thank you all the new subs. Thank you to all my subs who have got me here. 75,000 of you. So Google, YouTube, if you could just start like letting that 75,000 people know I still have a channel and maybe show them my videos, I would greatly appreciate it. Because of course we're being held down a bit at the moment. No, we can't even maintain them. Exactly. Can't maintain them. Thank you, Gummy Bear. Yeah, I mean, Paris is just, well, it's Paris, right? Paddy, gay Paddy. Thank you, CJDV. And thank you for all your support. And thank you to all the mods today who are in the chat and who always are, for all your help. Oh, what happened there? Woohoo! Thank you. Yes, 75K. All right, thank you all. Yes, I agree. It should be. I'd just be happy if they just showed it, because this is the thing. Like every month, all my stats go up. People are watching things longer. It's better engagement. But funnily enough, my views go down, which is also related to my income. So as my channel gets bigger, I earn less. This is what YouTube are doing to us. So you may have noticed I have put an ad in my video, so I need to find alternative ways to make money, because YouTube is just it's getting ridiculous. We went through it the other day, a few of us, and our channels, and we'd all had views and subs just deleted from our channels within the last week. It's just crazy. But anyway, we don't talk about that because we are creators and we create what we focus on. So I'm just going for 100 grand. So everyone go out, 25,000 of you, grab someone tell them to subscribe, and I'll be at 100 grand tomorrow. And we are done. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Shane. All right. Oh, thank you very much. 1982, you're a youngster. 40. Pamela, thank you. Yeah, could be. If you haven't seen the show I did last night with a few people, but with Ben from Waking Up with Analog, go check that out. He talks about that kind of stuff, and I'm going to get him on. I've got 2 shows I want to do with him. I'm going to do one on the North, the Arctic, and one on Australia. Probably get him on with Kelly on Tartari Australia to talk about Australia. Mary, hello, how you going? We all win. And of course, we need to get Stuff Beagle to 75K as well. Go and support everyone in this genre. Share their stuff, because we're starting to make headways. This little corner of the internet that we sort of started a few years ago, it's starting to be mentioned on a lot of big channels. Like I've heard it everywhere. Everyone who's anyone knows about Tartaria and that. They've all heard about it. So we're starting to make a big impact. So please do share all this work around. You know, not just mine, everyone who's doing this work. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And of course, thank you for being with me and spending some time. And if you would like to support this channel, you will find links below in the description, including 4 really cool books. And these are actual books. Like when you buy them, you actually get a book. It's not a PDF. It's not on your computer. It's an actual book that you can keep and hand down to your children. And they teach you all the skills that we need to know that they educated out of us, right? Like how to grow your own food and how to turn it into medicine and how to build things, free energy devices, all that kind of stuff. Check out the links below if you're into that kind of thing. And thank you for spending some time with me. We're at 1 hour 41, 47 seconds. So I will be back, like I said, Friday night. Is that tomorrow? No, Friday night. I've got an interview coming up with Sol Luckman. Friday morning, I'll be live again with Lorenzo. And no doubt something else in between there somewhere. And then on the weekend, Bernie's having a 48-hour weekend at Bernie's live stream. So check that out as well. Lots coming up. So thank you all again for spending some time with me. Stay awesome. And I will catch you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
It's time to kick it old school.